This is David Godsey of the Godsey Law Firm, here joined with one of our lawyers, one of our young and up-and-coming superstars. We'll probably get into how you even started here. That may be some fun. But we have Donovan Britton here with us today to just shed some insight on his time here at the firm and some of the experiences that he's had. So we're happy to have him.
Key on the young.
Younger than me, for sure.
No, I'm Donovan Britton. Yeah, I'm one of the attorneys here. I've been here for about 8 years now, which is crazy. As Dave was mentioning too, how I got over here. Actually, I was working at another firm at the time, and I met David at the frat house on our Founders Day.
That's right.
Other old head.
Shouts out to the Noops.
Yeah, frat brothers.
For sure.
They said, you got to meet this guy. You got to meet him. You got to meet him. I was like, who I got to meet? Because normally I'm the person that everybody needs to meet. But then they let me meet David. And we hit it off and we talked. And the funny thing is, when he talked to me, it wasn't about a job. We weren't discussing anything about business or job or anything like that. It was more about life, the brotherhood, the frat, and school and stuff like that, because I was getting ready to take the bar. And so he invited me. He was like, once you get done, actually take the bar, let's meet up for lunch. And so I thought, people just talk and they say things. But actually, as soon as I got done taking the bar, we actually wound up setting the time to go meet up for lunch at Del Frisco's.
Yeah.
And that's when he showed me that steak salad too that I get every time now. Yeah. But we met, we had a good conversation and talked and stuff, and then we left. And then next thing I know, I actually got a phone call from him. He was like, hey man, once you come up to the office, I think we got something for you. And so I actually came up here, did an interview. That's when I met Aaron, which is funny, in Ashita, who didn't want to call me, but he didn't call me back at first, but got to call me. And the rest is history.
Maybe they forgot. Maybe it was intentional on their part.
I wound up getting the job here, started out as the pre-lit paralegal for all the attorneys, which that was a great way to get broken into. And then I wound up passing the bar and walked right into my office, and the rest is history.
And what's funny is I've worked with a couple of Noops in the past, and I have this phrase. I'm sure I used it with you, and you may or may not remember, but I used to say, because you're a Kappa, it got you the job.
Yeah.
But because you're a Kappa, it won't keep you the job. Fortunately for you, you ended up being a stellar attorney, or I'll be trying to remember who you are.
I would have been gone. The frat only brings you so far.
No doubt.
We just talked about it, actually, my very first trial. Very first trial. So went in there, got a case. I was fresh. Looking at the case, went over it. And I'm a type of person that I'm never scared. I'm more a person I just want to make sure that I'm prepared on knowing how to handle something. And so getting ready for trial, I never actually had a trial myself. I saw other people doing a trial, but seeing somebody do a trial and actually doing a trial is completely different. Night and day. And so me and Dave, we were talking about the trial, and he was like, yeah, don't worry about it. He was like, you know what? I'll sit down with you and I'll go through with you, give you an outline on the trial and everything. And I was like, cool, no problem. That was about, like 3 weeks out. And I was like, okay, Dave's got me. We're going to go over it. And then I didn't hear anything for a minute. And then finally, it was like the week before trial, we finally sat through and he went through with me. And I was over there because I was freaking out at first. And then once we went through, everything went calm. I went calm. I had a game plan. I was good to go. And he basically told me, he was like, hey man, you're a noob. It's time to go get it. And so I went into trial, and actually the funny thing is that was my first trial. I actually wound up getting the biggest judgment ever in this firm's history on my very first trial.
Yeah.
On that case.
That's crazy. Yeah. A little flex, right. It should be a flex. But here's the thing. You talked about not being scared, right? Like, I don't know. In the way I look at life, like, we are just people who live in this continuum of humanity. And like, this is just our turn. But we can always look back historically and see people who dealt with the same types of things and draw experience from them, inspiration from them, all of those things, and try to do what we need to do to make sure when the next continuum of humanity hits the earth that we do the right things and they can learn from us. But I never really had that approach of, I'm not prepared to do this, right? And I think that's where you and I are a lot alike. It's just something that needs to be done. You go figure out what it is and go do it. And Lord knows we don't always make the right decisions. But like anything else in life, you make more good decisions than bad ones, and good things happen. And that ended up being a good deal for you.
And it's funny that you said that we do this so we can now for the next people down the line.
Right.
And basically because how he sold it to me and got me ready for trial, honestly, I use that in my experience now when we bring on new attorneys. Yeah. Any new attorney we get, I let them know at the very beginning, hey, look, my door is always open. If you need help to go through a trial, I'll go to trial with you. I'll sit down with you. We'll come up with a plan, because I remember how I was when I was in that position.
Right.
And the best way that we can do to make sure our clients taken care of or anything like this is what you set up for me.
Yeah.
Is to make sure that we have a game plan.
Yeah.
And so I take that game plan you gave me and I wind up trying to give them the same game plan.
Yeah, and that's excellent that you do that. I think we have a culture of that.